Welcome to Request Wednesday, a new segment of my channel in which I will be selecting one question that is related to DIY or sewing and I would address it. So Olive Republic asked in my DIY palazzo video if I could show how I created the patterns for the trouser, and you are just in luck, girl, because I'm going to be showing how to draft a trouser pattern. And once you have the basic block done, it's easy to kind of readapt it and make it suit the design you have in mind. So if you want to see how I came up with the pattern, it's quite amateur, so I am not an expert pattern cutter. I stand corrected in a lot of my techniques, but it worked for me and it's quite simple and easy to follow. But if you feel you can't draft patterns are sold online and in stores, so you can just easily buy one and trace out the shape you need and work with that. So if you want to see how I came up with my patterns, keep watching. If you haven't still subscribed, please subscribe. The button is down below and you will get notified every week whenever I have new videos up. So without further ado and enough rambling, let's jump straight into this video. Okay, let's get this show on the road. So the couple of tools you would need are your favorite pair of jeans, which you'll be tracing out for the trouser pattern, a long ruler for those really long lines, a set square, a scissors, pencil, eraser, a pen, just because, and then clear white pattern paper, which is like the most important thing of this tutorial. So once you have all of these things, it's time to get started. The first thing you kind of want to do is to lay your jeans out flat, making sure to get that front looking nice and neat because you're going to trace around it. So you want to tuck in any bits from the back, and because it's stretchy, we'll need to change up the dimensions later on. So I'm just going to roll out my pattern paper and cut out the amount I need, and then put my jeans flat on its surface, and using a HB pencil I'm just quickly going to trace around using dashed lines because we're going to refine the lines later on. So I'm just quickly going to trace around this curve right here and then trace down the side, the inner thighs, the bottom, and then the outer panel of the trouser. For the waistband, I'm going to tuck in the waistband from the back, just revealing the side of the front. Because we folded it in half, we're going to get half of the front waistband, and we're going to trace around this curve here using the HB pencil. So the idea is you want to get the dimensions of the front of the trouser, and then we'll get the back later on. So once we've done this, it's time to refine the lines using a set square. Ideally, you should use a curved ruler, but I don't have any, and I kind of know how to wiggle my way around using a set square, but it's a whole lot easier if you use a curved ruler because it would let you get those curved lines, especially around the waist and around the hips. So I'm just going to do this nice and neat all the way around all the dashed lines I've created on the trouser before going ahead to make the different adjustment to the trouser dimensions to suit my body. So this is the front all nicely drawn out at this point, but it doesn't really suit my thighs and my knees very well, so I'm going to measure those 3 points. That's my thighs, my knees, and my ankles, and then add whatever extra measurements I need to make it fit properly. So I added 1 inch on the inner thigh and half an inch on the outer seam and half an inch on each side of the knee, and I'm going to connect that using my set square. So I know once I sort of adjust these dimensions all the way around the trouser, it would fit my leg a whole lot better. So I'm just going to draw the line I had created earlier on, trace that all the way down to the ankle. As for the ankle, which is like the leg of the trouser, I just added half an inch and I'm just going to join it to the original line I made earlier on. So this is what it looks like at this point. I'm going to get rid of those inner lines that we first created with the dashed lines because the end measurement is going to be the outer one. So I would like to add that because it just makes the trouser fit better around the waist. So I found the center point of this piece right here and I drew a line or rather I made a dot as 9 centimeters, and I'm going to draw a line to the top, and then I'm going to create like a triangle from the sides of that middle point 1 centimeters inwards. I know that sounds confusing, but that's just how it works, and there are better ways to create darts, but this is just how I kind of wing my way around it. So because it's not really straight around this point, when you pull together a dart, it's sort of like a raised point. I sort of created this curve around here, which is raised 0.5 centimeters upwards from the original line, and I just marked where I want my zip to go if I want to put any zip. And now I'm going to get rid of the original lines we made earlier on using those dashed lines, just erasing them nice and neat all across the pattern. So once that is done, it's time to add seam allowance. So seam allowance is usually 1 centimeter, so people add more, but I think 1 centimeter is enough for me. I'm just going to add that all the way around the inner thighs, the bottom of the pants, the side seam, and the waist, because we would need to cut 2 pieces of the front and 2 pieces of the back to make 2 legs of a trouser. So I'm just doing this all across, and when you get to the dart, you want to make a curved seam allowance and not just a straight line, because when you pull the dart together, it forms a line when it's curved like that. So this is what the front looks like, and essentially you just repeat the same thing for the back. That's just the way it works, and as you can see, it's not perfect, but it works for me. Using the paper scissors, I am going to cut away the excess paper. So the line I'm cutting is the outer line, not the inner one, because we still want our 1 centimeter seam allowance. So I'm just going to cut around the entire length and breadth of this pattern, so all I have at the end of the day is the clean finished front. So I'm just going to quickly finish up any other excess bits I have to cut off, making sure to get those curves nice and smooth. So this is what the front looks like, and if you want to create a waistband, you trace off the waist, and you would normally need 2 pieces of a front to complete the 2 pieces of a back. So this is the front and the back all done. For the back, I essentially repeated the same thing, but the difference in the back is the back has a longer seat to accommodate your bum. So you do this simply by tracing out like I did earlier on for the front, and then you add 1 inch additional compared to the 1 inch you add. So you end up adding 2 inches to elongate the seat of the back piece. So this fits my body perfectly, but if you do yours, it might be different, it might be bigger, it might be smaller, but once you put that front against the back, it forms 1 leg of the trouser, just like this. So the front is slightly different from the back, but there's some parts that should go together, so I'm just going to make notches, so when it's time to sew them together, they fit perfectly and my life is a whole lot easier. So this is a close-up of the details of the front and the back piece. The back usually has 2 darts. I just put 1 for simplicity's sake, and I just put on the information that the pattern needs, such as how many I need to cut, the day it was made, and as you can see, the front has a lower waistband compared to the back, because when you wear the back, it goes lower to accommodate your bum. And there you have it. The tutorial is very simple. All you really need is your favorite jean, paper, pencil, eraser, scissors, and a good ruler that you can manipulate around to get your curves. So things like zips and pockets and waistbands can be sort of extracted from that basic pattern of a trouser, but like I said before, there are books and patterns sold online, which would make it really easy for you if my explanation did like drive the message across. But all the same, thank you so much for watching. If you would like me to answer your specific DIY question, please ask them down below, and I will try my best to answer the most requested one and get it straight across to you guys. It would be up Wednesdays at least once every month. If I feel like it, if I have the time, I could do more, but I think the best I could do in the next couple of months is once a month. All the same, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it and you learned something, and until my next one, have a beautiful morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are. Bye.